In this episode, I'm going to give you my recommendations for Week 7 of the fantasy basketball season for the Sleeper app. Now let's make some game picks. Welcome to the Game Pick Fantasy Basketball Podcast. I am your host, Robbin Marx. You can connect with me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Game Pick Podcast. If you love points leagues, dynasty, and sleepers' new game pick format, please consider subscribing on all channels. And please stick around until the end because I'm going to share the game pick sleeper of the week. Now let's go ahead and jump into our big time game picks for Week 7 of the NBA season. Deandre Ayton. Hashtag basketball points leagues ranking is number 40. He has 3 games this week. He has a back-to-back on Thursday and Friday. On November 21st, Deandre Ayton became the second fastest Phoenix Suns player ever to record 3,000 career points and 2,000 career rebounds in the NBA. He reached the milestone in just 188 career games. In 54 years of the franchise history, including any and all players who ever suited up, only Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley reached it faster. Listen, I know Deandre Ayton hasn't performed at his maximum potential. I mean, he was the number 1 pick in the same draft as Luka Doncic and Trae Young, for crying out loud. However, I believe that he will be a late bloomer. Unlike his peers, unlike the Trae Youngs or the Lukas who have already established themselves as not just elite talents, but the face of the NBA for the future, pretty much, Deandre is in a place where he hasn't received his money, right? Phoenix didn't want to pay him. He made it to the finals last year. And mind you, Luka and Trae Young, those guys haven't advanced that far in the playoffs. Trae made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. However, for Luka, he hasn't been to the finals. So Deandre, in terms of playoff performance, has made it further than those guys. So here's my point. You have to buy low on Deandre Ayton in dynasty formats. Every Deandre Ayton owner right now would give you a discount if you made them an offer. What's going to happen is Chris Paul is going to retire in a couple of years. Deandre Ayton is going to secure a big deal with Phoenix, and then Deandre Ayton and Devin Booker are going to be the 1-2 punch for the next 10 years in Phoenix. You have to take advantage of this opportunity. He is an elite player. He is just not performing at his maximum potential. So buy low on Deandre Ayton for dynasty specifically. For redraft, I'm not sure. It really depends on what your team needs. If you don't have a bunch of centers and you want to get a young center that has some upside, I could totally respect it. But at the same time, it's not something that I'm going to encourage you to do for a redraft league. However, for Dynasty, you have to buy low. So my game pick for Deandre Ayton is Thursday versus Detroit. It is his highest projected point total. He's playing the Warriors on the Tuesday and Friday. And Golden State is actually ranked 3rd against centers. So stay away from the Golden State Warriors with your centers. So that's one of the reasons why I would recommend picking his game pick being the Thursday versus Detroit. Montrez Harrell, his hashtag basketball points leagues ranking is number 44. He has 4 games this week. He does not have any back-to-backs. I mean, the Wizards are like out of control. They have the best start that they've had in 47 years. Now, Thomas Bryant has not played all year. And Thomas Bryant, actually, I stashed him in a couple of my dynasty leagues, but I dropped him since then because, it's been too long. He had a lot of potential and, upside, but right now with the way Harrell is playing, there's no telling what the rotation is going to look like once he returns. So if you're thinking Thomas Bryant is going to be a factor in terms of what happens with Harrell's output in the future, I wouldn't even let that be a concern to you. I would just continue to ride him out. You know what I'm saying? He actually leads the Wizards in total points this season with 234 points at the time of recording this podcast. He's averaging 18 points per game. He's also posting career highs in rebounds with 8.5 and assists at 2.5. So in terms of sustainability, can he maintain this? I'm not sure. I heard a report about it where Josh Lloyd from the Locked On Fantasy Basketball podcast did a deep dive about Montrez Harrell, and it was quite interesting. And according to Josh Lloyd, he thinks that, Montrez could potentially, sustain this production. I know that this is a former six-man of the year. This is a guy that, when he was on the Clippers in fantasy, you wanted to have him. You wanted to stash him. He was that guy. And then he had a bad run with the Lakers, which kind of devalued him to some extent. He's a little undervalued off of fear. People fear that he will go back to his old ways and that he's going to start tanking. This is what I would say. I believe that Montrez Harrell can continue to put up these kind of numbers with this team. Bradley Beal, it has not been Bradley Beal this season, and that's okay. But because the fact of the matter is the Wizards are winning. Like, winning cures all. Let me repeat that. Winning cures all. So the coaches, the general manager, the vice president, the president, the owner, if they are putting up wins, and if they're getting wins in the wins column, and this guy's on the floor, they're gonna play him. So I would recommend if you have him on your team, to hold him. If you don't have him and he has a bad game, try to see if you can buy low. So my game pick for Montrez Harrell would be the Friday game versus the Cleveland Cavaliers at home. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to get a sip of water for this next guy. Give me a second. Bear with me. Actually was fighting a cold the last couple of days. I'm not going to edit that out. Yeah, I was fighting this cold, but I'm better. I'm ready to rock. Here we go. So, the next guy, Steph Curry. Chef Curry with the shot, boy. Whew. You wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Steph Curry's #basketball points leagues ranking, number 4. He has 3 games this week. He has a back-to-back on Friday and Saturday. Steph Curry had 50 points the other night. He had 50 points and 10 assists for the first time in his career. Ironically enough, I'm actually watching him right now as I'm recording this podcast. He's playing the Sixers. So this is the day before Thanksgiving that I'm actually recording this. Let me get a sip of water for this because this game is cooking too. Got a little phlegm trying to fight through it. Okay, let's go. So he had a 50-point and 10 assist game for the first time in his career. He joins Wilt Chamberlain and Rick Barry as the only players to put up that stat line in Warriors history. At 33 years old, Curry is now the oldest player in NBA history to tally 50 points and 10 assists. That is ridiculous. Sorry, guys. That's ridiculous. Yo, I'm on my TikTok page, and if you haven't been on TikTok, go to @GamePickPodcast. People are trading away Steph Curry. They're trading him away. Excuse me. I'm like, what the heck? Is Steph Curry having an MVP type season and you guys are trading him away for depth? These are my notes on Steph Curry for tonight. Do not trade Stephen Curry. Idiot. I'm sorry, that's not me. I'm sorry. I'll bring that back. Homie, some other word. But listen, don't trade him. Hold. Now, trade for him? Yes. The strategy is, if you have an elite player who has a slump, 2-game slump, 1-game slump, 5-game slump, whatever it is, you sneak in like a snake in the night and you offer them 2 players for 1. That's the formula. It's worked for me on so many occasions. My league mates, I'm not sure if they're listening to this, but I know my league mates have, in many of my leagues, have kind of caught on. Because it's like if I came to you, it's like, listen, I'll give you 5 Toyota RAV4s. I'll give you 5 Toyota RAV4s if you give me your Range Rover. Your Range Rover is only worth, $80,000. My 5, RAV4s are worth over $100,000. You got to take this deal. You're going to make so much money. And that's what it is. And that's how you have to treat the Steph Curry situation. Don't go out here trying to trade away Steph Curry. So my game pick for Steph Curry, which I haven't said this since the first episode, which is the game pick week 2, is that you can pick any game you want. Steph Curry is going to cook. However, I would recommend game pick is Saturday versus the San Antonio Spurs. And one more thing about Steph Curry. He's aging like fine wine. And with his style of play, he's going to actually be able to sustain this production for a number of years. So he's 33 now. If you don't have him in Dynasty, I would recommend sending some offers to see if you can buy low on him. Because somebody's thinking like, hey, I'd rather have Kade Cunningham. Give me Kade Cunningham right now for Steph Curry, or Kade Cunningham and Tyrese Maxey. Send me those 2 guys for Steph Curry in Dynasty. Somebody might bite. If you have Steph Curry, ride him out. He might be doing this until he's 38, y'all. Championships upon championships. You got this. Next up, my main man KP, Kristaps Porzingis. #basketball points leagues ranking, number 26. He has 4 games this week. He has a back-to-back on the Friday and Saturday. According to NBA.com, he missed the entire 2018-2019 season in New York and in Dallas when he got traded to recover from an ACL surgery in his left knee. In 2019-2020, Porzingis then missed a combined 18 games, mostly for various ailments involving both of his knees. In 2020 and 2021, will it be a similar story? KP missed the first 9 games of this season to recover from a right knee surgery. He then missed 17 more because of reasons involving his surgically repaired knee, his back, his left ankle, and his right wrist. I say that to tell you this. Sell high on Kristaps Porzingis right now. Redraft leagues, dynasty leagues, category leagues, any league, game pick, sleeper leagues, points leagues in Yahoo, ESPN. Excuse me. You got to sell high. He is producing at a high level right now. At the time of recording this, he is feasting. Mind you, Luka has been out for many of these games, which has kind of increased his production and his output. However, there is truth to this. Yo, KP is that guy. They call him the unicorn. The unicorn. 7-foot player who can shoot a J, take you off the dribble, can block. He put on some weight. He's stronger. He looks good. But the issue, as illustrated by NBA.com, is that he's injury prone. I have KP on a couple of my teams. I'm sending offers for him like every night. Right before I go to bed, I say my prayers and then I send KP offers. You have to. Because somebody's going to see him put up that 75-point fantasy game and they're going to be like, yo, this is what we've been waiting for. I got to take it. And what you do is you package KP and then another player, somebody like Cole Anthony, somebody like Tyrese Maxey, one of these guys, and you try to get yourself a first-round player. You try to get yourself Curry when he has a slump. You try to get yourself somebody like Beal. You get yourself somebody like Dame Lillard. Because right now, Dame Lillard and Beal are not performing where they were drafted. So this is the opportunity for you. Harden would have been in that discussion, but he's picking up. So Porzingis, package him with somebody who's producing high but doesn't have the name value and see if you can pull off a 2-for-1 for a first-round guy. So my game pick for KP, Kristaps Porzingis, is the Monday game versus Cleveland. Speaking of Cole Anthony is ranked number 33 on hashtag basketball's points league rankings. My bad. He has 3 games this week, no back-to-backs. And people are worried if Markelle Fultz is going to threaten his role. Like, ride Cole out. If you can't package him in a deal that would get you a first-round guy, don't trade him for peanuts. He has the potential as a young player to be a fantasy stud. Like, point guards in the NBA right now, especially with fantasy sports, there are a lot of guards. It seems as if small forwards is where there's a bit of scarcity. However, elite point guards, it's rare. There's a few up-and-coming guys. Lonzo Ball, Cole Anthony, Tyrese Maxey, who I believe will be elite, all-star level performers in the future. So this is the time, especially if you play Dynasty, to get them now. You know what I'm saying? So for him, for Cole Anthony, I would say Friday, my game pick for Cole Anthony is going to be Friday at Houston. It is his highest projected point total. It's worth noting that the Houston Rockets, their young backcourt, they give up the 4th most points to opposing point guards. They give up the 4th most points to opposing point guards. So if you have guards playing against Houston, like, that's where you want to bet. If you are on FanDuel or DraftKings, whatever it is, that's where you want to bet. Josh Collins. His hashtag basketball ranking is number 45. He has 3 games this week, no back-to-backs. And my game pick for John Collins would be the Sunday game versus Charlotte. It is his highest projected point total. Josh Giddy. And you know what? I got to get a sip of water before I do Josh Giddy. Josh Giddy. Hashtag basketball points leagues ranking number 84. He has 3 games this week. No back-to-backs. Listen. Listen to me. Josh Giddy is rostered in 59% of sleeper app rosters. Come on, man. That don't even make sense. Mathematically, it makes no sense. Sleeper is a points league only application. What the heck are y'all doing? What's happening? 59%? He's ranked 84th. It doesn't make sense. Guys. Like, who is on your roster? Drop your worst player. There's no way that your worst player is better than Josh Giddy. And if you're in Dynasty, I'm not a violent man, but I might have to come to your crib and slap the heck out of you. I'm joking. Oh, God, Lord forgive me. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, man, come on, guys. Josh Giddy, 59% owned on Sleeper. Okay. It gets worse. On ESPN, my go-to fantasy sports app, Josh Giddy is owned in 46.3% of leagues. What are we doing? Come on, man. What part of the game is that? Why? Oh, God, let me get some more water before I choke. You guys are killing me, man. You guys are killing me. I'm literally dying because of this crap. Okay, there is good news. On Yahoo, he is owned in 76% of leagues, which is good news for me because I'm like, you know what? Somebody has some sense. I don't have too many leagues in Yahoo. I did a couple, but I'm going to have to go to Yahoo, man, because y'all, ESPN players, Sleeper, come on, man. We got to get it together as a community, you know? Let's talk about this. Let's figure it out. Okay. According to sportingnews.com, Josh Giddy was already known as an elite playmaker after leading the NBL with 7.4 assists per game last season, taking home Rookie of the Year honors early on in his NBA career. He's looking like a lock for the assist crown among his rookie classmates. Giddy has 97 assists through 17 games, the most by a mile among first-year players. Davion Mitchell is second with 65. As long as Giddy dishes out 3 assists over his next 3 games, he will be the 19-year-old with a pace to making history. The only other teenagers to tally at least 100 assists and 100 rebounds in the first 20 games. Are you guys ready for this? LeBron James and LaMelo Ball. He's dishing out assists like it's nobody's business. Listen, if you don't have him, go grab him, right? In redraft. In Dynasty, I would imagine that if someone is playing Dynasty, they are a bit more knowledgeable than the casual fantasy player, right? The guy who is playing because he's, in his office, at his work, he's just playing for fun. Like a Dynasty player really is about that life, right? A Dynasty fantasy player is dedicated, committed, like you do this 12 months a year. It is not a seasonal job. It's a career. It's like this is a lifestyle, right? So for my Dynasty players, if he's still available in your league, grab him. If he is not, again, wait for it. As soon as he has a bad game, you swoop in and you snatch him up. Okay, I'm sorry. My game pick for Josh Giddy for Week 7, Wednesday versus the Houston Rockets. This week's game pick sleeper of the week is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the best place to play fantasy sports, including best ball, daily drafts, and pick'em. Start drafting in minutes for a shot at big cash and an enhanced game watching experience. Did I mention that Kevin Durant and Mark Cuban invested in Underdog? Once I heard about those cosigns, I had to spread the news. Sign up today and use the code GamePickPodcast. Remember, use the code GamePickPodcast. Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. It's like getting free money. Don't miss out. This is your chance to double up from the jump. To download it, all you have to do is go to Underdog Fantasy on Android or iOS. Now, the game pick sleeper of the week. You ready? Kade Cunningham. Hashtag Basketball has him ranked as number 86 for points leagues. He has just 2 games this week, no back-to-backs. But according to SportingNews.com, an ankle injury held the number 1 overall pick out for the first 4 games of this NBA career, and he didn't look 100% upon his return. Some really poor shooting performances, like a 1 for 21 start to his career, destroyed his splits early on. But Cunningham is beginning to find his groove. Over his last 5 games, Cunningham is averaging 15.8 points, 7.4 rebounds, 7.2 assists, and 2 steals. 2 steals. And you guys know in fantasy, defensive stats really, really make a difference. Recently, he notched his first triple-double of the rookie class, going for 13 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists against the Los Angeles Lakers. I also want to add that this guy is a supreme talent. I've watched him play, and I'm totally sold. He's finding his groove, and he's going to have slumps. He's a rookie. He's going to have moments where he's not at his best, or has a stretch of games where he's not producing. That's when you swoop in and snatch him up. That is for a redraft or dynasty. My game pick for Kade Cunningham for Week 7, Tuesday at Portland. Portland has a middle-of-the-pack defense, and they're giving up 23 points per game to opposing point guards. So I believe he's going to see Dame Dollars not doing his thing for the last couple games and kind of, not finding his groove. If Dame is playing, he's going to take advantage of it. So I would go with Kade Cunningham Tuesday at Portland. If I didn't mention your player, please drop a comment with your request. Please join our brand new Discord group if you need help with game picks, trades, dynasty questions, team names, the works. All you have to do is hit the link in the YouTube description of this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share with a friend. Hit us with a Hacksaw Jim Duggan, which is a thumbs up, and leave us a review on Apple Podcast. Thank you for joining me. I hope you absolutely crush your league this week. Now get out of here and make some game picks.
Oh,